I am really worried for your Prochazka at UFC 311 this weekend. I say that because that is a real thing. That is a real thing. I sound like Chill Son in the way I'm starting the video, but Yuri Prochazka, he's 32. Not that old. Max Holloway 32. A lot of people are 32. 32 is not a bad age to be in your career. But this man's had 36 fights in his career. 36 fights at the age of 32. I just look. I'll read you his last four fights. His last four fights. That absolute war against Glover Teixeira, which he won in the 5th round. One of the best fights ever. The amount of damage he took in that fight. Obviously, we saw it. The bloody mess. Everyone at that fight was chaos. Then we have his fight with Alex Pereira, in which he got knocked out. You could say it was an early stoppage. You can say that. But at the end of the day, he did get knocked out. And he did take some pretty sufficient shots to the head. Then we have his fight against Alexander Rakic at UFC 300. He was losing that fight. The whole first round, he got dominated by Rakic. Rakic was piecing him up. Rakic's kickboxing is elite. And Jiri was losing that bad. And his most recent fight against Alex Pereira, obviously, pure and utter domination. Jiri lost, a whole round straight. He got pieced up. And then, obviously, the final second of that first round, knocked down. 13 seconds into the second round, KO'd. It's just, he's taking a lot of damage. And against Jamahal Hill, Jamahal Hill, people forget, man. People forget how good Jamahal Hill was. One fight. Maybe it wasn't even the fight. But one bad decision of him being salty has ruined his career. He's ruined his reputation, dude. He's beat Glover Teixeira. He's beat Thiago Santos. He made Johnny Walker look like an absolute fool. Jamahal Hill is serious. Jamahal Hill, his striking is elite. And I hate to say that because I'm going to get a lot of hate comments. People don't like Jamahal Hill. But Jamahal Hill knows how to defend himself properly, or at least better than Jiri. Because Jiri Prochazka defends body shots with his head. He doesn't have his guard up ever. His hands are right by his hips. And you can say whatever you want. Both of these guys have flaws. You see Jamahal Hill's flat-feet itself all the time. It's scary though, man. I'm honestly really scared for Jiri Prochazka, and if he does lose this, which I'm gonna predict it right now, I think Jamahal Hill beats Jiri Prochazka at UFC 311. I think Jiri is probably gonna be chinny, and Jamahal Hill has power. Jamahal Hill isn't just some weak puncher. He's knocked out Johnny Walker, like I said. He's knocked out Thiago Santos, like I said. He's knocked out Jimmy Crute, which you guys probably know. He's knocked out Vince St. Preux. He has power. You could say what you want about his weight. he's a blob sometimes when he doesn't lock in, but Jamahal Hill, he has very good striking. And obviously both of these guys don't have the best striking. They vision me of Alex Pereira for that. Jamahal Hill has good striking, and Jiri, Jiri's a very technical striker. He's a very fun fighter. Why did I say technical? Jiri's not a technical fighter. He throws interesting stuff like spinning back fist, crazy shots. I don't think those are gonna work against Jamahal Hill. I really don't. I just don't see Jiri as a threat anymore to anyone after those two Alex Pereira fights. I'm sorry, and especially that Rakic fight. He was losing that Rakic fight bad. So Jamahal Hill is my prediction. Jamahal Hill is my prediction for UFC 311 this weekend. Probably by knockout, dude. I don't know. Jiri's ground game is decent. It's scary times. But what I want to do in this video is predict what the winners and losers next fight will be in this video. So let's get straight into it. First fight we have is obviously Kevin Holland versus Ritter, and I'm watching the Kevin Holland Mighty Mouse interview, and I'm realizing how much Kevin Holland does not care about the sport, dude. But no, we'll get into it. If Kevin Holland does win this fight, there are so many options, and it's impossible to determine. It sucks to start off with this, because it's Kevin Holland, dude. He's a journeyman. He could fight a ranked fighter at welterweight. He could fight an unranked fighter at welterweight. He could fight a ranked fighter at middleweight. He could fight an unranked fighter at middleweight. I don't know what this guy's gonna do. He's not that old. Feels like he is with how many fights he's had in the UFC by now. But it's impossible to predict what this guy's gonna do next. I'll throw this guy some 50 ranked welterweight and call it a day. Then we have Ritter, and Ritter, I think if he does win this fight, we give him Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa is finished. I said it in my last video. He doesn't have any passion, and that's the truth. Paulo Costa, give him Paulo Costa. That's a free win. Get him into the rankings. Ritter, and if Ritter does lose this, you're going back to the minor leagues, buddy. You can't win big fights. Give him Paul Craig. Paul Craig obviously just came off a loss to Bo Nickel, and before that he lost to Shalbor Hollow. let's see how the Ritter's ground game can hold up against someone who could just throw up submissions, a jiu-jitsu specialist like Paul Craig. Now we're gonna get to the next fight, Beneil Dariush versus Money Moicano. I made a video about Money Moicano yesterday. A lot of people like Money Moicano, but what I didn't realize is a lot more people like Beneil Dariush because I have received various hate comments on that video. People don't agree with me, but we'll see. We'll see Saturday. Beneil Dariush, if he does win this, I think he should fight the loser of Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje. That fight has been confirmed for, I believe, UFC 313 or 314. I don't know for sure, but that fight, Dan Hooker versus Gaethje, should be good. And the loser, which I do predict, is Gaethje. Gaethje is a little bit shinny right now, and Hooker's coming off a second resurge of his career. So Beneil Dariush versus Gaethje. Let's see that. And if Beneil Dariush does lose this weekend, it's time to go. It's time to go, man. Yeah, it's 35. You don't got much longer in there, and you're coming off a 3-fight losing streak. If you did lose this, you gotta go. You gotta go, Beneil. If you lose this, you retire. Now we have Money Moicano, my brother. If Money Moicano does win this, I say we give him the winner of Dan Hooker Gaethje. Because we know that Islam is going to be busy in the welterweight division. We'll get into that a little bit more later. But Islam's going to be busy fighting welterweights. And the number one contender, probably whoever Hooker versus Gaethje is. Maybe we have Charles and Arman after that. But the number one contender of Hooker and Gaethje, whoever that is, isn't going to have anything to do. So I say we give him Money Moicano. That's a big step up for Moicano. You may hate me for that. And Moicano apparently is overrated for my fan base. But if Moicano does win that, I say we give it the winner of Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje. And if Moicano does lose this, give him Paddy the Body. I don't care. That's such a easy fight to make. I wonder if Paddy the Body win or loses his next fight. His next fight could be against Money Moicano, but all Money Moicano has to do is lose. There's beef already. He can fight backwards. There's rivalry. Money Moicano. You know, I wouldn't be very happy to see him lose, but, you know, we can give Paddy a chance, a big shot to go up the rankings in that Moicano fight. It's such a good fight to make. Obviously, they have their beef, like I said, and why not, dude? Why not? So now we'll move on to the featured fight of the night, Jamahal versus Jiri Prochazka. I touched on it a little bit earlier, and if Jamahal does win, we got to give them that Pereira rematch. As much as I don't want to see it, we have to give him the Pereira rematch. Once Pereira beats Magomed Ankalaev, he's the only one left, and coming off a win against Jiri, you gotta give him it. And if Jamahal does lose, I say we give him Khalil Rountree. Khalil Rountree obviously went to distance with Alex Pereira. That's what it felt like, at least, even though he got KO'd in round 4. He put up a great fight, way better than Jiri or Jamahal did. And obviously this fight, Jamahal versus Khalil Rountree, was booked for 303, and then Khalil Rountree got suspended. But still, I'd love to see this fight. It'd be a big step up for Khalil coming from Anthony Smith to Alex Pereira and Jamahal now. He's up there. He's the top light heavyweight, whether you like it or not. Khalil is. So I'd love to see Jamahal versus Khalil Rountree if Jamahal does lose. Moving on, we have Jiri Prochazka. What will Jiri Prochazka do in his next fight? If Jiri Prochazka does win, we got to give him Magomed Ankalaev. You know, I was a little bit iffy about this one. This is probably the hardest one I had to do, because there's light heavyweight, such a mid division. I'm sorry, it's such a mid division. So Magomed Ankalaev, he'd probably be coming off a loss to Alex Pereira. And, you know, we'll give him Jiri. And we can't give him that Pereira trilogy if he does win. he got KO twice. But another option from Jiri if he does win is Olberg. Give Olberg a chance to climb up the rankings. Big step up for Olberg. And if Olberg can win against Jiri, then Jiri probably cooked. And if Olberg does win, he's good. And if Jiri does lose this fight against Jamahal this weekend, retire. Oh, that hurts so bad to say. That's probably a casual take. I just don't like the idea of Jiri fighting so far down the rankings. He's 32. He's taken so much damage in his recent fights. I'm scared for Jiri. I don't know what's next for him in the UFC if he does lose this fight. Now we'll get into the co-main tonight. If Merab Dvalishvili does win, I say we give him that Sean O'Malley rematch. You know, there's someone else who you may say deserves a title fight, but I'll get into that next. If Merab wins, we give him the Sean O'Malley rematch. Sean O'Malley will be back in time for his next fight. And if Merab does lose, we give him the Figgy rematch. Figgy's just there. Obviously, he lost to Jan. And he's the only one of the contenders who's coming off a win right now. So, Figgy's not coming off a win. He's coming off a loss right now. And he didn't take a lot of damage in that Jan fight. He knocked down Jan, obviously. Just give him Figgy. That, like, when in doubt, all in doubt, just give him Figgy. Throw Figgy at them. If Umar does win, we give him Peter Yan. I didn't say Yan for Marab because obviously Marab 50-45 Yan. But, you know, Yan and Umar, that's a fresh matchup we haven't seen before, unlike Marab Yan. So give him Yan. Yan deserves it, coming off a couple wins. And Umar, that's his first title defense if he can beat Yan. If Umar does lose this, we throw Figgy at him. When in doubt, just throw Figgy at him. I don't know, man. I was struggling for this one. Throw Figgy at him. Who cares? Maybe. I don't even know, dude. I don't know. Now we'll get into the main event of the night. If Arman Sarukian does win, we gotta give him that immediate rematch with Islam, right? I think that's fair. Islam has 3 title defenses, been one of the most dominant lightweight champions in history, one of the dominant fighters in history. You gotta give Islam the rematch, dude. I'm sorry, you just have to. That's how I feel. If Arman does lose, we give him the rematch with Charles. Like I said earlier in the video, Islam's gonna be busy fighting welterweights, so both of the Charles isn't gonna get an immediate title shot. He doesn't deserve it. I'm sorry. One win against Michael Chandler does not earn you a title shot. So we'll do Arman versus Charles, and if Charles loses that, he's probably cooked. And if Arman wins that, he's probably back in title contention. It's just so hard with a champion as dominant as Islam Makhachev. But yeah, dude. And if Islam does win this, we let him move up. Obviously, we're not giving that Charles rematch. Charles does not deserve it enough. I'm sorry. These Charles Glazers are gonna hate me, but Charles doesn't deserve a win over. Charles doesn't deserve a title fight after a win over 40-year-old Michael Chandler. I'm sorry. So if Islam does win, we make him move up. Not make him. I would hope he wants to move up. But we give Islam Shafkat or Bilal Muhammad, whoever the winner of their fight is, whenever they do fight. And for Islam, if he does lose, we do a rematch with Arman, like I said earlier. I mean, it's only fair. He has 3 title defenses, like one of the most dominant champions in UFC history. This is a really long video. My predictions for Merab Umar and Islam Arman are going to come out probably tomorrow or the next day, so stay tuned. Thank you boys for watching. Octagon Outpost out.